Hi, this is Courtney Drake McDonough, publisher and managing editor of RealFoodTraveler.com. Yesterday, I listened to the New Year's Message podcast I did last year at this time, and it was really eerie to hear how little has changed. Here I am, a year later, still talking about the pandemic and how travel might not be happening the way it used to, but that our enthusiasm for good food hasn't waned at all. The difference now is that we are, sadly, learning to live with the pandemic. We are traveling more, although with lots of restrictions. And while we're still falling back on food for comfort, we saw what happened to our waistlines last year and aren't going to let that happen again. So, where does that leave us here at the start of 2022? Nervous, but optimistic, I think. Personally, on behalf of Real Food Traveler, we're in a pretty optimistic place. We're back to writing about food and travel equally. Things slanted heavily towards food when we couldn't go anywhere. Readers are loving the tips and vivid stories being told by our wonderful writers. And the Real Food Traveler podcast has grown in popularity too, because it's an opportunity for listeners to hear the passion in the voices and the real personalities behind our guests. This year, in 2022, we have two really exciting things happening. First, this is the start of my 5th year owning Real Food Traveler. The summer before my husband and I purchased it, we spent many a summer night going back and forth about whether we should take the leap and buy this already award-winning, well-established culinary travel website. Could we make it even better? Most of the time, I'm so glad we did. Although COVID did make me wonder a bit about running a travel website when you couldn't travel. It turns out, though, that it was absolutely the right thing to do. So stay tuned for some fun ways that we'll be celebrating throughout the year. The second exciting thing is that starting in January, I and Real Food Traveler will be the new host of the #FoodTravelChat Twitter chat. I'm honored to take the reins of another successful culinary travel entity. This one's founded by Sue and Diana of foodtravelist.com, a really wonderful website you should check out. I hope you'll plan to join us every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time to talk about different topics related to food and travel. I plan to continue growing Sue and Diana's vision of a virtual dinner party every week. It didn't take me a whole summer to say yes to this opportunity, at least. Having taken that big leap into buying Real Food Traveler has shown me that there can be great rewards in doing the things that take you outside your comfort zone. Or as Michaela Malazzi, host of PBS's Bare Feet with Michaela Malazzi, said to me in our Candid podcast in 2021, quote, "We need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable." So true. And so, dear readers and podcast listeners, where does this brand new year leave you? Hopefully healthy, being gentle with yourself and others, trying to look at all that is positive, because there is a lot that's positive, and enjoying life more fully now that we don't take it for granted. To that end, I hope everyone out there continues to do their part to bring this pandemic to at least a dull murmur that we can live with by getting your vaccines, wearing effective masks, and listening to scientific and medical resources that can be trusted. I'll end with the same words I did in January 2021 because they still apply. Thank you, sincerely, on behalf of myself, my team, our advertisers, and writers, for reading our digital magazine and listening to our podcasts. The best is yet to come.